Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today is Nigerian Independent Day. That is 61 years anniversary. For the Nigerians, they are happy and enjoying that Nigeria has been developed up to 61 years. But what kind of development we have achieved within these 61 years? You see, most of Nigerians are suffering with even hunger, starvation, and what have you. All our leaders, former leaders that we have in those days, especially before independent, they were better. They were better in the sense that they were trying to make the country better. But unfortunately, after we got our independence through the platter of gold, when we say platter of gold, we simply mean that it's not a bloody independent. We just got our independence by using signing and what have you. So any kind of independence that has been got through signing and compromising, I think it will not be better, or it will become the type of independence that we call neocolonialism. Neocolonialism in the sense that it's a type of independence that has been given to you through trickiness. That is, they will trick you, they will maneuver everything to you. So you can think that you got your independent, but you are not. You are not, sincerely speaking. My friend, if you are sleeping, open your eyes, wake up. We are yet still under the dependent situation. We are still being ruled by those people, that is white people. We are being ruled by them in advanced way. You cannot understand it. That is why I call it neocolonialism system. It is a neocolonialism system. You have been given an independent, but yet you are still being ruled by them. You are being governed and being administrated by them through several ways. So in case of this Buhari's tenure, you see, we have been suffering since from last 3 years back in Nigeria. Buhari used the agricultural policy, or we can say an economic policy, which is known as contractive economic policy. He said that we must close our border, no importation. So only what we are managing to produce in Nigeria is what will going to enhance our life. So I think this contractive policy is not applicable to the Nigeria, because even if to say president is trying to imitate or copy the policy from some abroad or some countries outside Nigeria, so he failed to realize that they use contractive policy, and when they use contractive policy on those days, like China, India, and what have you, they didn't allow their product to be exported in a short-term phenomena. When we say short-term phenomena, it simply means the time the policy has been started. That is the initial stage. So, but unfortunately, Buhari's leave our country products to be exported outside the frontier, which is very bad now. Which is very bad now. We have been allowed the product to be exported out of the country. Meanwhile, that the product is not enough for us. The product, especially when we're talking about the agricultural sector, the food crops that we are producing is very, very short. Is very, very scarce. It will not enough the countries to feed, much less to export it to some abroad. So this is another failure. Mr. Buhari's, I'm reminding you that we believe that you close the border. You mentioned some reasons that force you to close the border. You say that insecurity, they used to import some sophisticated machineries to the Nigerian country and killing people anyhow, bombing, whatever is happening. So, but I think this is not a reason. I think this is not a reason to close the border, because if you remember that since the time the border has been closed, I think there is a lot of crisis that arise in Nigeria, such as armed bandits and Planis crisis with Southerners and what have you. People has been killed anywhere, more than the issue of Boko Haram. So this is this shows that it's not necessary when you close the border to say that the sophisticated weapons will not be imported. So we need foods in Nigeria. Our history of agricultural sector shows that we are peasant. Yet we are peasant in the sense that we are producing goods and services, especially food crops. We are producing them in a less quantity. It's not enough in Nigeria. So all the farmers we have in Nigeria are managing to produce what they will eat in their houses and whatever. So before you apply this constructive policy, Mr. Buhari, let you try to revamp or to enhance the agricultural sector in Nigeria from peasant farming system to mechanized farming system. 1 and 2, when you close the border, there is no entry of food crops into Nigeria. So also you say that there is no exportation of food crops to outside the border of Nigeria up to the time that we reach the long-grown phenomena. So there where there is availability of food crops abundant in the country, so now you can allow the exporter to start their work exporting goods and services. But now the food crops are very, very scarce. That is why we are facing inflation, persistent rising of goods and services, cost of living and whatever. So in case of the issue of currency devaluation also, it's not applicable now in Nigeria. It will not be applicable into the Nigerian country, because this currency devaluation issue is going hand in hand with what we call balance of payments. Economically, balance of payments. That is what we mean. What do we mean by balance of payment? It simply means it's a transaction between one country and another. So what any country that has large quantity of importation from another countries is facing unfavorable balance of payments. So this currency devaluation attract foreign investors or foreigners to come and buy product in the country to export it outside. So now we are not in the stage of attracting foreigners to come and export the goods and services from here, because we don't have the availability or the abundance or the enough food crops on the ground now. So this policy of currency devaluation has failed totally. I mean, in the long run, government is supposed to apply this currency devaluation when we achieve maximum production of food crops and whatever. So I think government has to wake up and stop this currency devaluation now. It has no economic impact in the countries now. You stop it, because we are facing cost of living, inflation, whatever. Most of the people are breaking down. Some countries, some factories and other individual firms and other business proprietors are breaking down, because inflation affects almost everything in Nigeria. Price is increasing anytime. When you sell product, go back to the market buying another product, then you see it increasing. So I think government, they have to wake up and start stopping this currency devaluation. Even though they used to borrow money from outside countries like America, England, and what have you. So when they borrow this money, they will put some instruction on them that you must devalue your currency. So why are you borrowing money always from outside? Meanwhile, we have a lot of government source of revenue now. Even the petroleum sectors are developing, in the sense that we are selling much amount of crude oil, and the price is very high, unlike on those days. And government has one single treasury account. Everything is going through that one single treasury account to the government, and government is getting money. And also there is the issue of VAT. This issue of VAT has been increasing 3 times. So government is getting a lot of revenue and is generating a lot of revenue. That is the money that goes to the government. Where is the money now? People are suffering. You have to change your policies. These policies will not take Nigeria to anywhere rather than down to the hell. Of course, down to the hell. People now started to migrate from Nigeria to other abroad countries because they cannot cater their basic satisfaction, their own satisfaction and their family's satisfaction. So this is what we are telling government to wake up and see it. Yes, even now, the remaining year and a half for the tenure to be fading out will make government to make economic sound policy, so that to what we call to change the economic crisis in Nigeria into the positive way. So this is what I'm saying. Actually, this closing border is wrong. It's wrong, totally. It's wrong. Government has to open border, or even to say the closed border. So let us leave the border, no export, no import from now, and try to subsidize the farmers to the minimal level that each and every them will survive. keep production at the period they need to be produced. So this is what I am advising federal government now. Let us discuss later. Thank you very much. I'm a student, I'm learning, and I'm Abubakar Ilyas.